All right, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. I hope we're all here. I hope everything's going good here. Let me see. I'm gonna check. Make sure everything's going good here. Hold on for a second. Looks like this is. Good day, family. Welcome again to another broadcast. This is our weekly community update we try to do every Friday. And today is Friday, June the 16th. And we made it, y'all. We made it. So glad that we could be here. And today we're just going to give you just a few updates on what's going on this neck of the woods. And we're going to touch on some news as well. We'll talk a little bit about some of the news and what's going on. One of the top stories, of course, you saw on the thumbnail, they're stealing black joy. Oh, my goodness. We can't be happy. Oh, no. Is that really the story, or is there something more to it? Well, we're going to talk about it, and then we'll touch on some other things here. But thank you so much for joining us. We're going to give people just another minute or so, and then we're going to go ahead and get things started. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, again, thank you so much for joining us here. This is our weekly community update we try to do right here on this platform, Journeyman and Woman, and so glad that you guys can join us. Some of you, in case you're wondering, where's the woman at? You're saying Journeyman, all I see is the man, the woman. Trust me, the woman is around. We're doing a whole lot here on this back end here, trust me. And yeah, we're one day soon, trust me, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna tell you everything that we got cooking in the pots. We got quite a few pots cooking right now, so that's what's happening just in a nutshell. So really soon, just hold on and we'll sit down and we'll be able to tell you everything, okay? But it's all wonderful, it's good, it's just a whole lot going on. But anyway, while you guys are waiting, we'll just bring this up here right quick on the screen. If you haven't heard already, we have Sambatree.com. Sambatree.com. This is our own store here, and then what we sell here are things of nature. You know, things that are natural, good for your body, such as black castor oil. We have this thing here, this USB powered mini travel humidifier. We got a few more left and it's gone. That's part of our collection that we're going to be changing out pretty regularly of different things that we get our hands on, but it's only in limited supply. Once it's gone, it's gone. We got that. We also have cut and sifted ginger root. We got that going on, and then we got something that is going to be released very soon. I don't know if she released it or not, but that's why it's important for you to make sure that you're part of the email list there, okay? Fruits from the root. We got all kinds of dried fruits. We have everything from dried fruits to all kinds of herbal remedies, just all kinds of stuff. We got bitters, we have seasonings, we have salts, which is a seasoning. We got powders, we got stuff. If you got stuff going on with your joints and all of that, we got something for that. We believe in 100% natural, or as close to it as possible. We grew tired of the wickedness and the foolishness that they're putting in all of our food and supply and all that. So we ain't gonna just sit up here and talk about it and just get all mad and talk about, oh, Bill Gates, but Bill Gates did this. Don't you know they're putting this in here? Whoa, be scared, y'all. We can't eat anything now. Well, there's something that we can do about it, and it's something that we are doing about it. If you've been following us on this platform, not only do we have this, you remember we also, a while back, we were sponsoring what you call it, seminars. We, dear sister, who is a licensed, she's licensed in the area of herbs and all of that. And she was teaching us how to forage, how to go out wherever you are, not just in the United States, if you're in the Caribbean, anywhere in the world, it don't matter. Teaching you over Zoom how to forage, how to look for herbs, what are they for, and how to use them and all that kind of stuff. It was a blast. It was fun. And hopefully soon we'll do that again. But things like that, we're really heavy on education. I mean, of course, we have a whole ton of things here on Sambatree.com, but really what our heart is for you to understand why these things are important and what they can do. We truly believe that everything that we need, our bodies need, the Most High put it all out here in right in our own backyards. It's just that these people have trained us to look at these things, our medicine, as something to attack and go to Home Depot or whatever and get you some weed killer. And the very weeds a lot of times you're killing are the medicines that your family needs. And so that's what we're about. We want to teach our people how to get out of that mindset and to begin to see that stop doing that, stop listening to these people, and start digging in and plugging in to the medicines and the solutions that are really right outside your door. And so that's what that's what we're about. So we have this as well. So again, it's Sambatree.com. We also have, if you go to linktree.com/Sambatree. All right. I'm going to say that again. Linktree.com/Sambatree. What is that? Well, that page is, let me see. I'll bring it up for you. Let me see. Linktree. Let's see. .com/Sambatree. What is this? Let me see. Let's see if it come on up. There you go. So what this is another resource that we have created here. So of course we're on Facebook. I haven't been on there in a moment, I'll be honest with you. But we also have, but you can reach us, you can connect with us on there. What we try to do is we try to keep up articles, very important articles that you should know about, all in the health and wellness, arena, right? All kinds of videos that we have either done or videos that we've seen or we think that will be of interest to you. Documentaries, all that kind of stuff here. Then we have our own Sambatree book library. These are links to free books that you can access. You can download these and you can access them and use them for whatever, and the resources are here. And as I get time, been adding more to it as I get time. So we have this. So again, it's linktree.com/Sambatree. And this is our resource center. Okay. I told you we're very big on this because we want to make sure that our people stay educated and informed on all this stuff that's out here because, I'm tired. I don't know about you, but I'm done with seeing our people being sick and ill. And then once you start digging in and finding out what they're sick of, you realize that, man, it's something that can be, there are some solutions to this that aren't going to break your bank, and you don't have to sell your house or your firstborn to get the solutions, and so so that's what we have, and we're going to be doing a lot more content soon. Like I said, again, there's just a lot of good things that we're doing right now, just kind of behind the scenes, and it could be, if you could just see the rest of this space here, you would be like, oh my goodness. That's why I got this thing cropped. So you can't see it because I tell you, it's just a lot, man. It's a lot. But like I said, it's all good stuff. But anyway, welcome. So glad to have you guys here. My name is Dwayne. My beautiful wife is Nicole. And we are one. So if you see me, you see her. You see her, you see me. So it's like that. Here. So anyway, so welcome. So what we try to do here, again, for those that are just joining us, on Fridays, we try to kind of catch up on a few things, just see how y'all doing and everything okay. Let y'all know kind of what we're doing and, what you should expect from us this weekend. And, in case you got a little bit of extra time or, all of that stuff. So we just kind of plot out a little bit, what we're going to be doing over the next few days and probably the next week or so. So that's what we do. And then we also touch on some news as well. All right. So another thing too, that I want people to know about, is our page, mybondtube.com. See, we're not just here on YouTube. If you think we're just here on YouTube, we're not just here on YouTube, because YouTube has already made it very clear that, listen, if you step out of line, if you say the certain something that we don't like, then we're going to get all up on you, and we're going to basically block you. We're going to take videos down and all of that stuff. So, okay, it's fine. It's their house. We get it. I ain't mad at y'all. Only thing I'm mad at sometimes is when y'all change the rules and don't explain as to what actually was the infraction. When I tune in and I'm like, okay, what did I do? And they're not telling us. They're not telling us anything. So that's the part I don't like. But other than that, hey, whatever. So we created our own platform. And that platform is mybondtube.com. It's MYBANTUBE, mybondtube.com. And what you'll find is a plethora of all kinds of documentaries, movies. Speaking of which, we have movie night tonight. We'll be talking about that in a little bit. Movies, news clips. You're going to find a lot of stuff on here that you typically will not find here on YouTube. We're able to kind of go in there and go there on a lot of topics that otherwise we're not able to do on other platforms. And that's what we do here on My BondTube. We have hundreds and hundreds of videos on here I think will be of great interest to many of you. And big shout out again to all of our brothers and sisters who do contribute to this platform. Like I said, again, there's a lot of content on here that you can check out on your own time. And unlike this platform that we're on right now, here, many of the videos that you'll see on this platform, you're able to download it and you can save it. Yes, we do that because, again, it could, especially if it's something of great importance, and we want to make sure that our people get that information. And in case the internet goes down or whatever, we want to make sure you have access to it. So yeah, we make it so that you can download it and then you can use it for whatever it is that you need to use it for. So again, the website is mybondtube.com. All right. So there you go. One other thing I was going to say. Oh, so tonight on mybondtube.com, a half an hour at the conclusion of this broadcast, give me about a half an hour and we're going to do our movie night. Okay. We try to do every Friday night. We try to do a movie night over there on mybondtube.com. And tonight we're going to be doing that. We're going to actually be continuing what we showed last week. Last week, it was really not a movie. It's a series. So last week I showed part 1 and 2. This week, I'm going to show parts 3 and 4. Okay. So what are you talking about? What's the series? We ain't stupid. We ain't saying nothing on this platform, on this plantation. Okay. We ain't doing that. Okay. If you want to find out, you got to go over there. Okay. We ain't putting it all out there. So yes, so give it about a half an hour at the conclusion of this broadcast. Head on over there, and then we'll be broadcasting over there on my BondTube. Okay, it'll be our movie night. All right. One other. Let me see what else that I have here. Told y'all all about that. Okay, so tomorrow we will not be doing our Samba teaching. We do what we call our Samba teaching every Saturday, usually starting at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. We will not be doing that this week, simply because of the fact that we want to give our people who do watch that time to process what was talked about the previous week. And, and we do take this extremely serious because the topics that we've been talking about as of late, it's not something that you can just skim through it and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? No. You're going to really need to take your time and go through that and really process that. Okay. So last week we did a video. We did a teaching entitled Asking Jesus in Your Heart. All right. And then in that video, we went through the history of where did that whole thing come from, because you won't find that in the Bible. You won't find them saying all you got to do is accept them in your heart and everything will be fine. It's nowhere in the Bible. So where did that come from exactly? And what is it actually tied to? And anybody that does do that, what really are you inviting in? All right. So this is not theory or, I'm just making stuff up or whatever. We go right to the sources. We go right to the sources where you can look at it for yourself. And, and then wherever you want to go from there, you go from there. It's simple as that. But, like I said, we're not in the business of telling you what to do, and telling you what not to do. All we're going to do is lay out the facts as we have access to them. And then that's it. And I'm going to tell you, it's been a challenge for numbers of people because, again, these are topics that, people really haven't talked about too much. We just kind of go along with it because why? Because our mama and our daddy told us to. And why did they do it? It's because their parents said the same thing and so forth and so on. Well, we're living in an era right now where that's got to stop. We got to stop just doing things because someone else told us to do it. We got to start asking why. Why are we doing these things? Where did it come from? Who are the real people behind these things? And that's the kind of topics that we explore when we do our Samba teachings every Saturday. So this video here, like I said, we did this last week. And so our encouragement to you is take some time. There was a lot of resources or whatever that we pointed to. If you haven't done so already, take the time and explore those resources. Look at it. Go beyond it. Don't just go by what we're saying. Go beyond that and you do your further investigation on your own and you look that out, explore that out, okay? Don't just jump in our chat or in our comment section and start saying what you don't like and what you don't agree with and you haven't even heard the video. Take a listen. Along with that, we have a ton of other videos that we've done too. Who in the L are you following? We're taking another one's called taking a closer look at what's called the Torah. There's several other teachings that we've done where we really are starting to dig deeper and really trying to find the origins of understanding what we have been told. That's another one. It's quite a bit. So yeah, you can find all of that over on mybondtube.com. All right. And as always, if you have any questions for us, you can always ask. You can email us at connect@journeymanandwoman.com. connect@journeymanandwoman.com. So we have that over there. And so this week we will not be getting together. However, if I do have time, I'm gonna try to squeeze in time tonight. I will probably upload a video. It'll be a short teaching and it'll be a very short one. So I might do that tonight if I have time. And if I do so, I'll keep an eye on our community page. And I'll put the link up there so you can check that out, okay? That will be a short one, but it's one that kind of goes along lines with what we've been talking about. And so just keep an eye out on the community page, and I'll have the link up there if I do it tonight. All right, so let's see. So that's that. I touched on that. Remember, this is, for those that are just joining us, this is community update. Because I know I got people, I saw the thumbnail, and all I want to hear, I want to hear all that. I just want to hear This is a community update. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. This first part is just going through all the updates here. Next week, I will try to do that little video that I've been trying to do. And that is, I want to take y'all to this prison in Philadelphia. I'm going to actually go there. They won't let you in, but I want to actually go there and give you the history behind this prison and what was actually going on in this prison in Philadelphia. Did you know that, when you hear about human experimentation, we always hear about the Tuskegee experiments. Did you know that experimentation was happening all over the country? It was. And to a certain extent, it's still happening to this very day. But I want to focus on this particular prison here because there was some major experimentation going on and there was some very interesting benefactors from that experimentation. It's right here in right down the street or whatever from Philadelphia. So we're going to take a trip there, and I have my camera out there and all that, and I'll give you some history there. So I'm really trying to do that next week and see if I can squeeze that in. And yeah, there you go. So let me see what else. What else did I have? I think that's it. And while we're talking here, and I'm getting ready to get into the news now, if you have any questions for me, any questions at all, you can feel free to use this chat that we have here and ask away. It's fine, okay? You can ask me. I ain't gonna bite you. I'm trying to think what else did I have. Anything else? Anything else? Told you about Sambatree. We went through that. Well, if it comes to mind, I'll bring it up. But again, tonight, give it about a half an hour at the conclusion of this broadcast. We're going to do our community. I'm sorry. We're going to do our family or our movie night tonight. All right. What was the other thing? Oh, we did enable, for those who are interested, the super chat stuff. It's all enabled here on this platform as well. So if you feel free, if you feel like, hey, listen, this content, appreciate it or whatever, you can feel free to do that or not. It doesn't matter. We're still going to be here, but I just wanted to let you know that, because for the longest we haven't done that. And I just started doing that simply because now this platform is changing, because I felt some kind of way. If you're teaching, this platform, we were doing a lot of biblical teaching at one time, but now we've shifted a lot of that over to BondTube on a whole total different platform, so that we can do it over there, because I feel some kind of way charging folk for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just felt some kind of way about that. But here now we're changing now. This platform, give it about, when we hit like September or October, around that time frame, you're going to see this platform really begin to change, where we're going to start. The emphasis more is going to be on health and wellness. Okay. More on health and wellness, and it will be more on that. So it'll be very exciting. I'm very excited about that. So you'll see that happening when we hit September, October timeframe. So you'll start seeing more of that, and anything else when we're talking about spiritual matters, things like that, we'll handle that over on mybondtube.com. All right. Brandon asks, what do you believe in regards to sin and salvation? I'm going to come back to that. Okay. Let me put a star by that for me so that I can remember to come back to that. Okay. Okay. So let's get into the news here right quick. Well, as you saw on the thumbnail, there's a story that has hit the internets where they are talking about a young lady in the city of Philadelphia, where it was a graduation, and what was told was that, hey, listen, if you're going to graduate, make sure, in this graduation ceremony, make sure that you keep it together. Meaning that, in other words, listen, no dancing, no doing any kind of juggling. Don't do any of that stuff. All right. Don't do any of that stuff. And tell your family, make sure they don't do any, no cheering and all that. It is a joyous, momentous event, but we're kindly asking people not to do that. Okay. Family, we've talked about this topic before, and it seems like it just keeps coming up. And so anyway, I'm going to pull the article up and just show you here. Maybe I'll play the video too. All right, we'll tap dancing across the state. Anyway, so let me play this video here for you. This is the local news covering it, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, we'll get into this article.
Tell their families, do not clap, do not cheer or shout when
All right,
your
hold on,
kid
back up.
Yeah, Jackie, as always, girls, hi. Tell students to tell their families, do not clap, do not cheer or shout when your kid walks across the stage to receive the diploma. Hafsa Abdul Rahman says a now viral video shows her family was silent, as was she.
Oh yeah, I just graduated high school.
Oh, turn that off because I don't want the music thing.
Captured her graduation day moments, videos, selfies showing her pride.
Hafsa Abdur Rahman.
But the moment graduates work for, the moment their families often take off work and travel to witness in person, was denied from the 17-year-old who we see in this video do the gritty dance as she walks across the stage to receive her diploma from the principal.
What did she say to you? I mean,
She was like, "You're not getting your diploma because you made the crowd chuckle." It was like she was going to give it to me, then she took it right back. It was just embarrassing. She didn't have to do that.
This all happened last Friday at Girls High. Parents and students tell NBC 10 they were aware of the high school's rule about holding applause and cheers until the end of the graduation ceremony. In the video, as she waits for her name to be called, Abdul Rahman appears to look at her proud family and put her finger to her lips, signaling shush.
I didn't feel like I broke any of the rules because she didn't say this prior to the graduation. No, you can't do this walking across the stage. She just said our families cannot cheer for us. And my family didn't cheer.
The school district of Philadelphia wrote in a statement, it, quote, does not condone the withholding of earned diplomas based on family members cheering for their graduates. We apologize to all the families and graduates who were impacted and are further looking into this matter to avoid it happening in the future.
It was like, you don't know who I was graduating for. It wasn't your moment to take. You already graduated. You still getting paid at the end of the day. I'm only doing this once.
Well, I'm told there were few other students penalized for similar actions at that ceremony. The district says they too received their diplomas off stage.
Oh my. And when you get on, and when you go on Twitter, just on Twitter, I haven't even been on Facebook. I ain't trying to go on no Facebook. I ain't trying to hear no craziness. I just, not today. Not today. When you go on Twitter, you got Mark Lamont Hill, Sugar Tank, Mark Lamont Hill, who's up here spreading this stuff. They withheld this girl's diploma, which isn't exactly true. On the stage, she took it back. The lady did, she took it back. But then afterwards, she got it. Okay, she got it. Just like everybody else, they got it. Let me read to you again, because I laid this out on the community page. Let me read to you this particular part of the article. Now, you saw with your own eyes with the video, and you heard with your ears what they said. All right? Now, let's read to you what it says here in the article. It says, Abdul Rahman told NBC 10 she was aware of the school's rules for families not to cheer, clap, or shout while students walked across the stage to receive their diplomas. And what else did she do? Apparently, she was so aware, she warned her family not to do so. So it's not like she didn't know. It ain't like she didn't know. She knew. And let's continue. As for Abdul Rahman, she couldn't help but celebrate a bit. And it says video shows her doing the popular gritty dance while walking across the stage to receive her diploma from the school's principal. And what did the principal do? She basically reminded her, now you remember what we told you, right? Okay, go ahead and get that back to me. Now, again, that's just on the stage, right? But afterwards, everybody gets their diploma. They're not going to tell you got to go back and graduate, go through K through 12 all over again. They're going to give you the diploma. Hey, come on. But what did the headline say? What did all of these people that you see on social media, even now, as they're repeating this story over and over again, what are they saying? They threatened to withhold her diploma. They took it away from her. If you go on our community page, if you go in there right now, I got a picture of her holding up her diploma. They ain't take nothing away from her. This is what I'm talking about. How people just run with stuff with partial facts. But here's the thing that here's the point. For those who are listening and you're brand new to this platform, I've talked about this because this topic, it just keeps coming up. I mean, it's just like, y'all, is this like the new trend now? What did okay. It's two things I'm going to say. Number one, why do these schools, now Philadelphia High School for Girls is blackety black school. That's a black school in a black part of town, okay? So it's a black school. All right, so I'm just letting you know. Okay, so why do schools, for those that need help in understanding this, why do schools put these rules into place? It's going to take you through. It's just very simple, okay? Now, by the way, it's not white schools that are just doing this. There's also black schools. There's HBCUs that are doing this as well. Why do schools year in and year out heavily encourage the students not to get up there and buck dance and backflip and all that? They've gone after white students. They've gone after black students. They go after whoever breaks the rule. They say, please don't do this. Why do they tell the students and the parents not to participate like that at that moment? Why? Because for every outburst, I know you're excited and I know you're happy and I know you want to do your happy dance. But why do they do that? Because for every outburst like that, you're adding more time to the overall event. And people ultimately want to go to the event, see their one child, or maybe sometimes two, graduate. They don't really care about everybody else that's there. They just care about their one child. Let's keep it a buck. And then after your baby goes across the stage and get his or her, diploma, the rest of the ceremony, you pretty much plugged out. You're not even thinking about the next people, that 500 or 1,000 people that go up. You ain't thinking about them. You in the seats waving, hey, you see, you trying to communicate to your baby. We gonna be out in the car. Don't be playing around down there. After you get you be out there giving instructions to your baby, telling them afterwards. You ain't thinking about all these other people. So people go there to see their child or their children graduate, and that's it. So, but the more you get up there and you want to do the circus of the stars, it takes up more time. So a ceremony that's scheduled to be maybe an hour and 15, 20 minutes, now you're adding more time because they got to wait for your fool behind to finish doing your dance and everybody doing it. They got to wait for that. And it takes more time. And so it does a disservice for everybody else that's there that wants to get home. But see, it goes even deeper than this, family. It goes even deeper than this. Recently, my nephew graduated from a school up in North Jersey. And the school had their graduation at Seton Hall College, at Seton Hall University. I'm sure y'all heard of Seton Hall University. So it's a really like regal. It's a private. I think it's a private school, university. Right, Wane? Do I have to get on a plane and come and slap you? You exactly right. This is you're saying exactly what I'm saying. Grandma can't sit that long. You ain't thinking about grandma when you're doing all that. She's right, exactly. Let me put that up on the screen there. Anyway, let me put this up here. For real. So anyway, Seton Hall University. Now, if you know anything about Seton Hall University, like a lot of these like private universities or colleges or whatever, a good percentage of it is going to be white. Okay. And so in this school, Seton Hall University is actually a Catholic university. So, they had the monks, and I saw a monk on the campus and all this, they got statues of Mary. They keep Jesus on the cross, man. They're going to keep him on the cross, keep him suffering on the cross. I mean, just all over. But people, the majority of the people that were that were present for this, graduation was white. Okay. It was all cool. It was all good, and And so, there was, black folks there too, but majority of everybody was white. And they told people at the beginning of the graduation, before it started, they said, listen, we know you're happy as parents. You want to see, because they worked very hard. We understand that they fought, on COVID. They had to go through COVID. They had to go through all this. So they worked very hard for this moment. We get this. We understand. But what we kindly ask is that you would wait until the end of graduation. Then what you can do after that is you can then celebrate. And at the end, they had them all come together, students come together, and they have like the school has like this big old chant thing that they do, and then they throw their hats up in the air and all of that. And then people at that one time, they just scream. Now, you did have a couple of families that were like cheering, just a couple of them. But I was scared to do that. I mean, because I felt it's like when you're in that arena, when you're in certain spaces, when people ask you to do stuff, they may be nice, but at the same in telling you, but they're dead serious, and you expect, I'm not going to push that. Now, just so you understand, Auntie Nicole and Uncle Dwayne, I'm talking about in regards to our nephews. The times we've gone to their games, and when we've gone to other events that they've had, we are one of the loudest ones there. We are very loud. When it comes to our children or nephews or whatever, we're loud. You hear what I'm saying? I tease them. I said I didn't bring my air horn this time. I wasn't gonna bring no air horn, but yeah, we are loud. But I knew coming into that arena, I said, I'm not. We'll be chill, because afterwards we're gonna have this big old celebration and we can do whatever we want at that time. But I just kind of knew, and everyone that was present there kind of knew, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna be chill. You know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna keep. It was like an understanding of that. Now, what I find interesting in this, because I'm sharing this with you to give you an illustration. It's very interesting to me that when we're talking white people, for example, they can establish a rule like that. And for the most part, there's no problems. You have a few people that will act up and cut up. I mean, there's videos out there of students, doing stuff like that. But for the most part, there's never an issue. It's never an issue. There's an understanding that we ain't gonna cut up in here. There's this basic understanding on a very simple rule. Don't cut the rug up in here. Okay. We trying to move these students up out of here, and we trying to keep it moving. That's it. And everybody understands in that space. But when you have HBCUs, high schools that are ran by us, we set up a standard and saying, hey, listen, we want to make sure, same thing, we're trying to move people in and out. Some schools are so big, they have to have multiple graduation ceremonies. So they got to keep people moving. You know what I'm saying? That's why they do this stuff. They know people are happy and excited. And the teachers that are there, they're just as excited too. But a simple rule right here, it's like, we ain't trying to follow that. I don't want to hear that. And the thing that really bothers me the most with this is this. Because I said this in the post that I wrote. I said any community that cannot maintain its own rules, its own standards, it's not a community. It's a disunity. You're a disunity. So we're fooling ourselves and calling ourselves the black community. If anytime when someone sets up a rule or something like that and say, hey, listen, when y'all come up in my restaurant, don't come up in here butt naked. Don't come up here dressing your pajamas and all that. We're trying to, we want the clientele to be up, we're trying to get a certain atmosphere here. Don't come up in here like that. Please, just don't do that. Just one thing. You're more than welcome to come. We want you to come. But please, just one thing. But even the simplest of things like that, it becomes international news. Oh my goodness. Now they're robbing. And that's the thing. If you go on Twitter now they're penalizing black joy. That is not black joy. That is ignorance. Let me say that again. That has nothing to do with black folks. That is people who choose to be ignorant. They choose that. And to this student here, I don't know her. I don't know her mama. I don't know any of that. But at that moment, she chose to be ignorant of what was told, because you saw her in the video before she even got on that stage. What was she saying to her family? Shh, y'all keep it down. Y'all keep it down. And then she got on the stage. Now she up there wanting to dance. And then what they going to do? They're going to follow suit. Now, let's play this thing even further out. Now, when you get out into the real world, are you going to, well, you know, the rules don't apply to you. Why? Because you're excited? No, you got to follow. There's basic things you got to follow. That's called life. You understand what I'm saying? It's called life. But here's the thing, as I'm digging into this, as I'm looking at this, that really gets to me. Because, see, I expect the young people to be like that. Younger people will have this tendency. They're always going to push against the rules a little bit and all that stuff. So I expect that when younger people, you expect that. But when it comes to people my age and older who are just like, oh, let the babies just do their thing. Y'all just doing this. Y'all just doing too much now. That's just too much now. Why you just letting them, you just coming all up on them. See, y'all just don't like black people being happy. You just always taking stuff from black people. And y'all just, and you sounding like them. You sounding like these people. I'm looking at the adults like, I'm hoping that some adults in the room are going to say something and be like, you know what, honey, we happy for you, but don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Let's, you made it this far. This is such a minor thing. Don't do that, okay? But I'm listening to the adults. I mean, many of these adults out here, they're going right along with it. Yeah, that's right. They're coming down on us. No, they're not. You break the rules, what happens? And I'm incognito on Twitter. And I had white lesbians coming after me. I'm like, why y'all in this conversation? I don't know. But anyway, I had other people coming after me. I had a couple of Caribbeans coming after me, saying that you don't know what you're talking about and that's cruel and you're licking their boots. And it was all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm like, it's a simple rule. Why can't you just follow it? I don't understand that. And the thing is, these will be the same adults that during the school year will get mad at the very same school for not enforcing certain rules. That's not how it works. And that's what really, I was sharing that with a little bit of this with our children earlier, our grown adults. And I was just saying the frustration sometimes I feel a lot of times when I see, it's not the younger people. The younger people, you expect it. But it's when you see people that are your age or older that are out here that are just kind of, you're repeating the same, venting the same way these younger people are. And I'm like, y'all don't see, you mean to tell me you don't get it either? Man, some of these people are in, I don't even know what's going to happen once you really get out there. I'm talking about some of these children that are graduating now, and they have parents that are just going along with it. It was this young lady that they showed in the video, this student that we're talking about. It was one that she was up there crying. She's talking about, and this is just my one moment and all that. Yes, it was your one moment and you blew it. That's not the school's fault. And of course, the city of Philadelphia, being the city of Philadelphia, they threw him under the bus and said, we don't do that. And we apologize and all that stuff, because they didn't want to feel like they do what they always do. They kick the can like they always do. They kick the can. City of Philadelphia, the school system is in complete shambles, and they much rather kick the can down the road and say, listen, we did have things set up in place, and she didn't do it, and that's it. We're proud of our students, and we understand. There's a way you can handle that. You don't just throw your teachers under the bridge like that. You don't do that. But that's what they did. And of course, the fact that the principal at that school, apparently, I guess it was a principal, she looked white. I mean, I don't know. She could be very light skinned. I don't know, but she looked white or whatever. But, that played right into emotionalism and that's out there. These white people, it's Philadelphia high school for girls. I mean, if you're not familiar with the area, that's a very black school in a very black part of town. Trust me, I'm very familiar with that area. But it's black schools, it's white schools, it don't matter. They put these rules in place for a reason. And as a people, and again, this may not apply to you, I'm talking to the people who don't want to listen and do get mad and angry at this stuff. What I'm asking is stop trying to build this or bundle this under black culture. That is not black culture. That's ignorance. That's willing ignorance. That's when someone chooses to be ignorant when they know what the rules are. Has nothing to do with someone trying to squash black joy. There will always be joy in the black community. But the joy that we express, it does not have to be hitched to breaking rules and laws and stuff like that. It doesn't do that. No, not at all. So, just take that for what you will, family. But, we definitely need some more voices out here of people, really, taking a stand on this stuff. We don't hate this young lady. We're glad that she graduated along with all of our other graduates that are out here. We're glad and happy for them that they was able to reach this milestone. But you are our future. You are our future. And as our future, we're depending on you to be the ones that are setting standards for the next generation. But if you can't listen to the standards in this generation, then the generation that follows you, they are screwed. You understand what I'm saying? Because if this is the excuses that you're using now, what do you think what's going to happen when your children come up and then the children after that? These are just simple little things. We're not talking about banks collapsing. We're not talking about economic issues or nothing like that. This is just a simple rule. But what I'm saying is this little simple thing, it echoes in many areas of individuals' lives, because if they're like this on this particular issue, they're going to be like this in other areas as well. And you can't do that. Team Truth said, white people want their graduation like they want their church service, start on time and get out on time. Exactly. I mean, that's them. But it's not just white people. I think all people want that. I honestly, as a black man, I don't want to be up in somewhere any longer than I have to be. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I don't. Think about it. When you go to a graduation, you're, like I said earlier, you're there for that one individual or two individuals that you went to go see. That's it. I ain't there for the other 1,000, 2,000 students. I'm not saying I don't care about them. I'm just saying, but I ain't come for you. You know what I'm saying? Once if they made it where you can see your baby walk across the stage and get their diploma and you can bounce and everyone in that family can bounce, I would be first in line for something like that. But that's not respectful. I get that. I understand that. But, it's just, no, so we need your voices, for those of you who are, in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s. I know you want to be young and, young at heart and all that other stuff, but there's some things that we have to draw the line on. You understand what I'm saying when it comes to this kind of stuff? And and this kind of stuff here, it's just way too much. And the fact that it's become this whole international story, literally internationally, people are talking about this. And I'm like, man, Philly got so much going on, and this is all that comes up. I wouldn't be surprised if they had this young lady on Good Morning America. You watch, and it becomes something like that. So no, we don't want to do that. We love our children. We applaud them. We appreciate them. We embrace our children. We protect our children. We encourage our children. But the one thing we're going to do in this corner is going to make sure that our children are carrying standards that future generations can follow. Because without those standards, we have nothing, family. We can't slack up on this. We only get one chance at this. For our parents, for example, they only got one chance to raise us. That's it. They don't get a second chance at this. They get one chance. For your children, you get one chance at this. This ain't about, and for some people that are listening, well, you just trying to impress white people. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they do. I don't. I care about what we do. A lot of times our people, we talk about, Black Wall Street and all this other stuff. And we like to, just sit back and just reminisce on that. You know what I'm saying? But see, Black Wall Street, the people in that part, in that part of the country, in that time of the year, or in that time of history, I'm sorry, even they had standards. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even they had standards. They couldn't build banks. They couldn't build churches. They couldn't build business unless they had standards. And listen, they had to have standards. Why? Because the government wasn't giving out loans. See, this is what I want our people to understand, especially for you young people. I want you to understand this. You want Black history to be taught? Let me teach you some Black history right now. There was a time in the history of this country that this country not only wasn't paying you no mind, I'm talking about our people, but there was no loan programs for Black folks, okay? There was no loans. We couldn't even, many of the banks, we couldn't even go to their banks. We had to turn to each other for loans, to get things built, to get supplies, to get business done. We had to turn to each other. There was no loan programs from the government, none. We had to turn to each other for that. So if you're going to be doing business at that level with each other, where you're borrowing money and paying each other back, you doggone right. There has to be some level of standards and a high level of expectancy from each other. See, we miss all that part of history. We just focus on the part they just took it from us. And yes, they did. But beyond that, we have to focus on that part of our history where we had a high expectancy for each other. Because if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have been able to survive. We stand on the shoulders of people who had to think that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's how that they did that with the hopes that the next generation would carry that with them. And then the generation after that would carry that with them at all. When we couldn't go into their hospitals, guess what? We had to build our own hospitals. We couldn't go to the government and say, well, we tried to build a hospital, but we ain't got no money, sir. We don't know what's this, a needle? I don't know. What's a needle? Oh, that thing hurt. That thing hurt. What do we do with this? This an aspirin? This a pill? I don't know what this is. We weren't like that. We came to the table with information. We came to the information with knowledge and understanding on how the human body worked. So what do we have to do? We had to network with each other, with our resources. Okay, you know how to do this. She know how to do that. Let's come together and let's build something. That's Black history. That was our history. See, that's the part we miss. But that's what I'm saying. That's what all of this is connected to. And something as small and seemingly insignificant as this, it echoes to so many different areas, and it shows the deficient areas of our culture, where we just think we just blow things off, and we, even our own standards and our own rules. If we can't keep our own standards and rules, you're in the world of hurt. We're in the world of hurt, family. So I'm pleading with our elders in the house. I'm pleading with you, please. I know, like I said, again, I know everybody wants to be younger, and, many of us are young at heart and all that kind of stuff, but we need you to set some standards. You know what I mean? Because if you're not doing that, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just not, and so, yeah, so that's that with that. I think we kind of beat that into the ground, but it's unfortunate, but we gotta do it, family. Because this is survival mode for real. This is survival mode for real. So anyway, let's move on to the next story here. Check this story out. It says realtor. Oh my goodness. Realtor helps LGBTQ plus Texans leave state through Rainbow Underground Railroad. So now they got their own Underground Railroad. Okay. I got to hear this video. Let me see if they got. There's a video here. Let me see. I didn't listen to the video. All right, let me hear what he got to say about this Underground Railroad here. Hold on.
What did it take for you to reach that point in your decision making?
For that, it was just the amount of legislation that's been going on in the state of Texas. It is not Texan friendly, not to all Texans, especially when it comes to the LGBTQI plus community. Just the amount of legislation that's been or bills that have been introduced this year alone it's staggering, and I don't feel like Texas is my home anymore. And then coupled with, honestly, the amount of gun violence that has happened in the state of Texas over the last couple of years, I've gotten to the point where I am kind of hesitant about where I'm, like, if I'm going anywhere, like how big of an event I'm going to, because I don't know. The last time that we had a event was, or I say a shooting, was Allen, which is about 20 minutes from where I live. And we had, I went to Frisco Mall later that day, and that mall was evacuated because they thought it was going to happen again. Someone was making threats inside the mall, and
I'm sorry, I can't take anymore. I cannot. I've tried. I really tried, but I can't. All right, let me just read the article, okay? How about we do that, okay? The end of the month can't come soon enough for Paul Lewis. He'll get to hand over the keys to his house in a Dallas suburb and start a long drive north, where he'll become the latest LGBTQ plus Texan to leave the state in hopes of finding a friendlier place to call home. Part of me hates the fact that I'm leaving Texas, the home I've always known, Lewis says, but part of me is also excited by the fact that I get to start a new chapter. The lifelong Texan committed in January to begin looking for somewhere else to move. He explained how two factors ultimately solidified that decision, pointing to the growing number of LGBTQ restrictions introduced this legislative session, as well as the frequency of deadly mass shootings happening in the state. He noted his home in Carrollton is 20 minutes from Allen Premium Outlets, okay, where a gunman killed 8 people. Okay, and he says, I don't feel like Texas is my home anymore. Okay, we already heard all of that, right? Okay. Now, as far as I know, when you look at the laws of any of the 50 states in this country, when it comes to LGBTQ, I am not aware of any laws. I don't know. Maybe y'all can help me with this. As maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just totally ignorant. Help me out with this. I'm not aware of any laws that says something about, you cannot be on the streets after a certain time. We used to call they still call them sundown towns. I don't know of any sundown towns as it pertains to LGBTQ XYZ. I don't know of anything. There was this other thing. It was called. My parents grew up in this time, and they gave it this funny name. You might have heard of it, Jim Crow. Yeah, Jim Crow, where it was an economic attack. It literally was responsible for holding down Black folks economically, where there were stores that we could not get into. There were businesses that we couldn't do business with. Yeah, I'm not aware of any of that in Texas. Maybe some of our people in Texas, maybe, please enlighten me on that. I've never heard of that. Looking at people in the eye, you can't look at, white people in the eye, I'm not aware of anything like that. Trying to think of what else. Someone can help me out. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm trying to figure this out, because these are all the things that that come to mind. Not so much the Jim Crow stuff, but there were, when we talk about the Underground Railroad. Yeah, our people were kind of leaving. They needed the Underground Railroad because they were getting beaten and they were getting raped, and families were broken up. And, there was a whole host of things that was happening to us. And so now, this is not the first time I've heard of this, where this group uses our history to try to hijack on it. And I don't care what platform I'm on, because we're going to talk about this, because one thing we have to defend, just like this last segment, I was talking about the importance of holding up standards so that we're a community and not a disunity. It's the same thing with this. We also got to be defenders of our people too, of what we do have, the community that we do have. And one thing we're not going to do, at least here, is going to allow any group to come along and try to hijack our culture and to hijack our experiences and try to make them your own, when that's not the case at all. In fact, you're getting way more rights. You're getting access to a lot more things that we as Black folk do get access to. There's a ton of things we can go through on this. You know, even in the employment era and segment, when you go into different business sectors, you'll find that they get a lot more access to things than what we do. This is why I don't understand, but also if you are someone that has my color and you're part of that group, you find out very quickly the limitations that you really have, because they try to, on one hand, they want to pretend that we're all in the same boat. But on the other hand, they're quick to separate themselves when it's convenient. And this happens over and over and over and over again. Every person that runs for office will make sure that they get top priority. We have seen over and over again how this group will get top priority when it comes to legislation, bills, all kinds of stuff. Now they are permitted to go they're going to children full force and to educate children. Oh, I got a video too of a Black parent, and I'm putting these videos as I come across on BondTube as well, because make no mistake about it, you got Black parents all over the country too that see this mess and they're calling it out for what it is. They're going to these school board meetings and they're putting it all out, and they're being very clear and saying, listen, enough is enough. And so for them to sit up here and to try to make any comparison, see, with them, if they want to move this individual here, he wants to move to another state. Well, what if you're in a situation like our people were? There were some states that told us to keep moving. That's not the case for you. So again, as I've said, and I'll continue to say it, what life you want to live, what you want to identify as, that's your prerogative. I have no business in that. That's not I don't care. I really do not care at all. I don't live with you. You don't have to be up in my face, and I don't have to be up in your face. Not at all. If I see you walking down the street, I'm gonna keep on walking on the same street. You say hi, I'll say hi back to you. I ain't bitter. I ain't angry. I ain't got no issues with folks like that. I don't. I don't. More often than not, I probably have interactions with people like that, and I don't even realize it, because I'm not going around and asking everybody what they do in the bedroom. I don't do that. I ain't no freak, so I don't care about that kind of stuff. But where it becomes an issue is when you begin to start forcing your ideology on me. Now we got some problems. When you start going after our children, now we got some problems. You understand what I'm saying? When you start using our history, our experiences as a way to push your agenda, now we have some problems. So for you to compare this to a time in our history where we were literally running for our very lives, to an inconvenience where you can just jump in a car and go on about your business and do your thing, it's no comparison at all. Yeah, Team True said, what about the Red Summer events that span for about 3 years against black communities? Yeah, never heard of that. Never heard of that. Never heard anything that comes close to that situation. And the problem is, in these places of power, we got too many dusty Negroes, and I will say that are so excited and happy to get a pat on the back by Biden. They will go along and play right along with this whole agenda. And that is the fraternities, the sororities, all of them. They play right along with this stuff. And they'll jump on you if you say something about it. You know what I'm saying? So no, black folks, all in all, for the most part, when it comes to this issue, when it comes to this group of people, we tend to be very loving. You know what I mean? In other words, we're not going to, you're going to have a few exceptions of people when it comes to going a little bit too far and wanting violence and stuff, all that against these people. I don't want violence against someone that really do nothing to me. I don't think like that, nor do I encourage anything like that. But at the same time, when you get to the place where you think you can force your ideology on me, or anybody else, that's where we have problems, and we have serious problems with that. And I'll say this, and I'm gonna continue to say this. I don't care what platform I'm on. Leave our history alone. You said you are a culture. You say you're a community. Find your own community. Find your own culture. Work within your culture. Leave black culture alone. Leave our history alone. I mentioned too, I remember a while back, I showed you this video of, talking about Coretta Scott King. Because when you look at where did these people feel that they can just do that freely? Well, you look no further than Martin Luther King. You remember I showed you a video of Coretta Scott King where she basically said that her husband is, when he was saying that, when he was doing all that marching and stuff like that, it wasn't just for black folks. It was also for LGBT. That's what she said. His speechwriter was in that group as well. Yeah. Some of y'all may not have known that. Yep. His speechwriter was in that, was a homosexual. Yeah. I did a video on that as well. Again, that's so now you understand when you think about I Have a Dream speech, keep in mind who helped write that speech and what they were implying in it. Black people, your history, any acknowledgement by this country when it comes to your history is simply an acknowledgement to be used as a Trojan horse to bring in everything else. This is why we, when the Civil Rights Bill Act was signed, it was basically an understanding. It was basically a commitment that your history as black people would be used for every other group and not just for you. And you see how it played out, don't you? Trying to tell you. Anyway, so let me show this video of this. This is a father here who it's a black father who was was at the school, and he called this stuff out. He was calling this stuff out. Let me get this here. Hold on for a second, and then we'll close out. I got a couple of animal ones, interesting animal videos I want to show you, man. It's really quite something. Most High's creation is awesome. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Okay. So hopefully you'll be able to hear it. The audio wasn't the greatest, but let me play this audio for you. Okay. This is a father showing up at a school board meeting, and he is talking about what they are teaching his children and how he feels about it. Let's take a listen.
I'll read from one of them entitled Lawn Boy. It says, what if I told you I touched another guy's dick? I said, Nick waved me off and turned his attention back to his beard. What if I told you I sucked it? Will you please shut up already? You say, I'm dead serious, Nick. Well, I'd say you were a fag. I was 10 years old, but it was true. I put Doug's dick in my mouth. The real estate guy. Yeah. Nick looked around frantically. What the F are you talking about, Michael? I was in 4th grade. It was no big deal. Cringing, Nick held his hands out in front of him in a yield gesture. Stop. He sucked mine too. What is the educational benefit of talking about a 4th grader who gave a blowjob to another boy? See, we are up in arms in this district because someone rightfully depicted someone as a pervert and or a groomer. But I think that terminology is too soft. It's not simply perversion or grooming, it's mental rape. And who are the mental rapists? Everyone who signs up for this stuff supports it and allows it in our schools. It's mental rape. Mental rape because it assaults the soul. It stains the brain. It robs children of their opportunity to have a clear understanding of sex, life, and existence. And all of you who are on this board, you are playing political games. Those of you who are Democrats, you represent a group of people in our country who are holding to the wrong rainbow. You seek to push your leftist ideologies upon children, and you all represent mental rapists. And keep in mind, much of this junk comes from white liberals. People who endorse the wholesale of indoctrination upon our kids. We did the Pledge of Allegiance, and we said that we were one nation under God. That's right, we're a nation under God, but that doesn't make you a God. You think that you are God, and you can shove this guilt upon our children. What benefit is a blowjob to a child who's preparing for the ACT or the SAT? Is that going to help them get into college? Is that going to help them get into another school? No, it's not. But you sit in your seats of power and authority, but we're going to vote every last one of you out. Yeah!
I told y'all, you think, listen, don't believe everything that you see on these social media streets. There are plenty of black parents out here that are speaking out, and they're saying enough is enough. What I'm saying is we need a lot more of y'all out there too. So hats off to this brother for being one of those that are out there that is being a voice out here, speaking up when it comes to our children and just for our greater community. Again, if that's what you're into as an adult, then you knock yourself out. Go and do that. But leave our children alone. And that's all we're saying, and we're all about respecting people and, until you give us a reason not to. Do you understand? And I'm happy and I'm very glad that this individual and other individuals like him that are out here and are telling the truth. And that's what you got to do. So anyway, I wanted to share that because I want you to see just the seriousness of this and that they're turning the heat up on this. And so there's going to be two groups of people. You got group A, I'm talking about amongst black folks now, that's just going to go along with it. And group B, and I'm not just talking about the LGBT stuff. I'm talking just in general. I mean, have you seen some of these music videos that are out now? Some of the stuff that's out now, I mean, I've saw clips of some of this stuff and I'm like, how? And I don't know. It's like they just went straight to hell and say, hey, listen, whatever demon, here, come on up here. We got some music videos for you, because some of the stuff they're putting out here now is just something. And the thing that really gets me, again, goes back to the point I was saying earlier. You got adults my age and older be up there. Yeah, girl, you better get it. You better get it. And the young people looking right at you like, well, yeah, it must be all right. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So anyway, let's go ahead and close out. Remember, we having a movie night tonight. All right. It's a series that it's not a movie this time. It's actually a very, very good series. and it comes in multiple parts. So last week we played part 1 and 2. This week we're going to play parts 3 and 4. We'll be broadcasting that tonight. But let me go ahead and get this other little videos up here. These are kind of changing up here a little bit here. Let me see where that first one was. Okay, here's the first one here. You know, what we always say here is that if we're going to learn about our Creator, there is no book written by man that can contain the words of our Creator. I'm going to say that again. There is no book written by man that will contain the words of our Creator. He is not going to entrust these wicked people to make sure that his words are accurate. Our Creator speaks through his nature. And when we go outside, you go to the park, you go to the beach or whatever, he's always speaking. And he's given us an entire world to discover what he is actually saying. And nature, it's just what it is. And so even on this issue of the LGBT or whatever, like I said, my opinion on it is rooted in the fact that when I look at his nature, I don't see any of that in this group. It's none. In other words, you don't, like I said, you don't see elephants ripping their sexual organs out because they want to identify as something else. You don't see birds. You don't see butterflies or whatever, repainting their stuff because they want to be identified as something. No, they don't struggle like that at all. No, they don't struggle like that. They just be what they were created to be, plain and simple. So if it's not in his nature, if I don't see that in his nature, then I have to question why humans are inventing things that aren't in his nature. I want to be in sync with his nature, because by doing that, I get to know and understand who he is. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so here's an example here. When you look at nature, just on the area of fatherhood, check this out. Gorillas, and I know people have made them a lot of racial comparisons and stuff to us as black people and all of that, but I ain't thinking about that. I mean, gorillas and the primate kingdom is a very fascinating area to look at, to see their mannerisms and how they act and respond and how they protect one another and communicate and all this stuff. This is a father. This is a gorilla that is seeing his child for the first time. Check this out. It's a very short video. I mean, look at the tenderness there and the care. And look at the amazement that you see in the eyes of this young gorilla right there, looking at his father for the first time. I mean, just, and why it's so important. Again, when we go back, why it's so important for, fathers have a very important role to play in the upbringing of a child. And all you got to do is look at nature and you see this all the time, all the time. So let's not lie to ourselves and try to act as if, well, we don't need fathers and, we can do it. And the women say we can do it ourselves, or we don't need women. We can do it. No. You both are needed. And all you have to do is look at nature and you can see these simple principles being displayed all the time, That's one video. And then there's the last video I want you to see is right here. Now, this one is funny. This probably goes with the mother side. Now, this one is very funny. Now, this is a cat looking for her baby. And she finally found her baby. Now, check it out. check. I'm laughing. Anyway, I'm gonna play this twice here. Hold on. It's no sound on this one either, but check this out. And she found her. Look. I got to do a sound recording over that one. Now let's play this again. I got to play this again. Hold on. So I don't need you. So what? Didn't I tell you to come over here? I ain't coming nowhere, mama. And she said, what? Get your, hold down my face. Get over here. If you don't get your little narrow, hairy butt. I'm telling you, it's just, ain't that something? I tell you, you can learn a whole lot. That's why I like looking at those nature videos and all that, man. It's just so funny, man. And you know, animals, they have their own sense of humor and the different things they do and all of that. And I tell you, we learn a lot about our creator just by, you know, simply looking at that. So anyway, I think that's it. That's all I have. I told you I wasn't going to go too long this evening on this particular broadcast. And so anyway, so what we're going to do now, we're going to take a break. Give me about 20 to 30 minutes, and I will go ahead and get it queued up, those videos for the next part of our movie night over on mybondtube.com. And you're more than welcome to come over and check us out, family. Okay. So on behalf of myself and my beautiful wife and everybody else out there, thank you so much for tuning in to our weekly community update. You guys take care. Love you very much. Oh, for the gentleman that email or had that question earlier, email me at connect@journeymanandwoman.com. connect@journeymanandwoman.com. Email me. I'll answer you. All right. Yeah, just go ahead and email me because I want to move. I ain't trying to avoid you, but email me, okay? I may even send you a voice message too, but please email me at connect@journeymanandwoman.com, okay? All right. I'll be waiting for that email now. Waiting for you. All right. You guys take care, and I'll see you over on my BondTube in a little bit. Take care.